Hello, everybody. Beth here, and today we're going to be doing a nice little special side story for the Call of Cthulhu universe. I'm with Wolfgang,
Hey.
and yeah, we're going to do a little one-shot secret adventure. Just some fair warnings, the standard rules and warnings of body horror. Well, I don't think we're going to get to that. This is actually a pretty mellow adventure, but there's going to be some innuendos, implications of horrible awfulness, and also butchery of the French language. So
We're so sorry. We don't speak French. We're doing our best badly.
Doing our best. But with that,
just to be for any listeners, so this is taking place during the Needles arc, correct, Beth?
Technically,
like in the middle of it, slightly potentially after.
It is technically taking place on 8 days before the Needles arc technically starts.
Okay.
Yes. So it will be taking place on October 21st, 1926. So technically before the Needles arc. However, rumors of the Needles and the Needle arc and the Needle Men have kind of been picking up a little bit more speed in the city. So.
And forgive me, I haven't done Wolf's voice in a while, so it's going to be a treat.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's set the scene. So, October 21st, 1926, you have made an appointment at Ernest's suggestion to meet with a well-known mystic that lives in the city. You managed to get in contact with the man's butler, and he's able to make an appointment for you, and you are given the directions to the rather large mansion that is on Domain Street.
Domain?
Domain. Dunamine? D-U.
You can type it. You can type it to me. Okay.
There we go. Domain Street. There we go. I don't. You know what? We're rolling with this. I've already given my warnings.
The money.
Yes. So you get to the door. A old
fancy place.
Very nice.
Wolf is looking around and all. He's like, "Wow, this is a really fancy place here." Looks down at notes. This is the right address? Okay.
You gonna knock at the door?
Yes, I will. Is there like a door knocker, a doorbell?
Yeah, we can do a door knocker.
Hell yeah. So yeah, Wolf will do a pretty strong dunk, dunk, dunk.
After a few minutes, a older black man will open the door. He will kind of look you up and down for a moment, and Wolfgang Barker, I presume?
Yes, sir. Have an appointment with Mr. de Marigny. Marigny.
Yes. Follow me, if you will. And he will lead you into a large office room. Big room. There's a lot of tapestries hung in the wall. There's plethora of books and bookcases. There's a nice scent of frankincense and some lemon pine incense as well.
Weird scent combination. Okay. He is an eccentric.
Yeah, the guy's got a vibe, and he's doing it very well.
Okay.
So, in the back of the room, at a large, clearly handcrafted, expensive desk. Um, there's a man who's pretty slim looking. He's sitting at the desk in a silk dressing gown and typing away at a typewriter. He seems to be hyper focusing on this typewriter, clicking away and stuff. Do you want to roll a spot hidden real quick?
I do. It might take me a couple extra seconds to do stuff because my cat has decided he's going to be involved in the process.
But of course.
Oh my gosh, Enra. I rolled 100. No shit, I rolled a 100.
Can you go ahead and roll me a Constitution?
Oh no. Okay.
Thanks, Enra.
No, Enra actually didn't help with this one. I don't think the dice like Wolf today. It is 81 for a Constitution.
Okay.
Which does not pass.
Nope. Do you want to try and push the roll, or do you want to go ahead and just...
No, we're gonna start out strong. Badly. Let's go.
Wolf, all of a sudden, as you're kind of taking a look, right in between your eyes is that piercing migraine. So, any mental rolls I'm going to have you do, like a psychology or spot hidden or stuff, they're going to be at half.
Okay. Dang. All mental rolls at half. Okay. Well, just a par for the course. Wolf is gonna kind of do like this. Dang it! Like pinching the bridge of his nose, like screwing up his face to like, hey, maybe if I squint my eye, like not squint, if I squeeze my eyes hard enough for a couple seconds, maybe I can get it to go away. And then it doesn't work.
Nope. The butler, he doesn't actually notice you having your migraine moment, as he does kind of a soft sigh of like, okay, this is gonna be a moment, and he does like a low cough and Mr. DeMongi, your guest is here. And after a moment or two, the man at the desk is going to kind of perk up and take a second to kind of register, oh yeah, somebody is here.
Oh no.
And quickly, he's going to stand up and he's going to kind of adjust the silk dressing gown he's wearing. Kind of try and look a little bit more presentable.
So, just to make sure that I'm understanding this, so he's like in basically like 1920s pajamas.
Yes, he is in the equivalent of 1920s pajamas.
Oh, okay. So he's like in the
man
he's
works
got
from
the
home.
shirt and the legs and probably slippers, and then he's got his robe dressing thing over top of it. Okay, cool.
The man does work from home. Can I know
what this man looks like?
He is conservatively dressed, even with his pajama wears. He's pretty tall. He's slim, but there's kind of an air of elegance to him.
Okay.
He's kind of
Sorry, I had a quick question. Is his air of elegance like the 1920s? They're really into like the chic stuff, where it's like the Egyptian Arab like aesthetic, or is he actually?
the air of elegance.
Okay.
He does have like a nice, well trimmed beard and mustache combination. Sorry. And as he stands up, he is going to, after like brushing off his, his dressing gown, or not his dressing gown, you know what I mean, the bathrobe,
Yeah.
essentially.
It's his evening robe. It's an evening robe.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to rise. He's going to come over and offer his hand. Mr. Barker.
Oh.
Etienne Laurent de Merengue. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Marinier. Thank you for seeing me on such short notice.
Of course. Anything to help out the wolf.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been all that.
Would you like brandy, a cigar, maybe?
A cigar would be lovely.
Wonderful.
I'll take the brandy too. Just a little bit. I have some other errands to do today.
Of course. So he's going.
Okay, I do want to preface though. Wolf says just a little, but the way he's eyeing, is there like a drink stand or like a?
Yeah, there's like
a bar that's clearly in view.
Like, yes, intricately. There's like an intricate little drink cart.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Wolf says just a little, but the way he's looking at the bar indicates maybe just a lot. Maybe just a lot. Okay.
Etienne's gonna nod, laugh. He's going to nod to the butler, who's going to nod and then excuse himself. And Merengue offers up the box of cigars for Wolf to take, as he's also grabbing the brandy and 2 glasses.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
There is it's an intricate looking box. It's a fancy. The guy's got an aesthetic. And
okay.
Going with it.
And it's fancy?
Fancy, yes, very much so. So once you get your cigar, you get your glass of brandy. Merengue's going to kind of sit back down on his side of the desk, offer you your seat on the other side, and kind of move his typewriter and what appears to be a stack of papers to the side so he can focus on you.
Oh, lovely. How kind. I do feel like Wolf is kind of like looking around at everything, like sipping the brandy to try to like take it all in. Can I do like another like a spot hidden to see if I can see anything else? Or
yeah, go ahead and roll a spot hidden at half.
I rolled a 29.
Nice, that is a pass.
Yay.
So variety of tapestries are, it's clear that this guy either has people who go to like Cairo and the Middle East and get the stuff for him, or he has gone to these places as well and brought pieces home
And brought them back. Okay.
Yeah. There's even like a couple of knight's armor standing up, but the main focus, or in a class, in a display case by itself that's seemingly built into the room itself is this large 7-foot coffin-shaped clock. And there's 4 hands.
Shaped clock.
Yes. And there seems to be 4 hands with the clock on the clock's face, and they just seem to be moving randomly.
Okay, like, you can't just tell me there's a big clock in the room. A big fancy clock. So he's gonna point at the clock, just like as a like hand on the brand. He does like a little, like still holding it, but does a point while he's holding it. He's like, "That's a really interesting clock. Do you mind if I go look a little closer at it?"
Etienne is going to kind of follow your gaze, and he's going to nod. Oh, yes, of course. He's going to stand up as well and kind of do
Wolf
like a
is going.
gesture to it.
Yeah, Wolf is gonna go admire this clock because if he doesn't get all the details about this strange, huge coffin-shaped clock, which is right up his boyfriend's alley, he's gonna be in big trouble. So yeah, Wolf is gonna go over to this clock and he's gonna take a lot of mental notes so he can describe it later to his boyfriend, Jean-Baptiste. So what does this clock look like, Beth?
It is of a dark wood of an indeterminate species, and coming upon closer inspection, it is carved with intricate scrollwork and seemingly alien designs. It has a sandy hue dial marked with undecipherable hieroglyphics, and the 4 hands have varying lengths, but they do tick evenly.
They do tick evenly. Okay, so there's not any like, it doesn't feel like a tip, not like a typical clock, but there's nothing to indicate like hour, minute, second, like Wolf would be would be used to.
Yeah, there. It seems to be taking time, but no time. Not in New Orleans time, that's for sure.
Okay, a weird clock. He's like, so this clock seems like it has a really big story, and a good friend of mine would really love it.
Oh, really?
Yes, my good friend, Mr. Swan, down at the shoot. Name the store. God damn it. I knew it'd come back to haunt me.
Insert clock shop here.
Yeah, insert clock shop name here. Yes, Mr. Jean-Baptiste Swan on this street here. He makes custom clocks and does watch and clock repairs. He really would be interested in a piece like this.
Oh, yes. I remember some of Swan's work. Yes, does have a penchant for design.
Oh, you know his work.
Oh, yes. There's some of my colleagues. They fight over tooth and nail about whether or not they'll be able to get a commission from him.
Oh, that's Jean. Wolf is gonna have like, oh my god, that's my boyfriend, and I'm so proud of him. Smile. Like, well, that's really wonderful to hear. I'm sure he really appreciates the business.
Yes. But this clock, I received it from a friend of mine.
Okay.
It's trying to figure out how to explain it. Um, it was given to me by a friend before he disappeared.
Oh,
Yes.
Condolences on your friend's disappearance. Was it recent?
Rel- Relatively, but um, archaeology is a dangerous work, especially when we get involved with the mythos.
The mythos?
Oh, yes. The mythos, occult, um, quite fascinating stuff. Uh, my
So,
friend. Oh, sorry.
no, you're good. Um, I suppose that's maybe why I'm here today. Is your work into those fields? He's kind of fiddling with his hands because Wolf is very much putting off that aura of like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't know really why I'm here.
So,
Like, I don't want to waste your time, but also, like, I'm not sure why I'm here.
so Etienne is going to kind of perk up a little bit when you mention, oh, kind of why I'm here is occult. It's like, oh, yes, of course, right, our appointment. Um,
Yes, sir.
uh, my butler was, he didn't go into details, for the reasoning of the appointment. Um, what can I assist you with?
Um, so Wolf is going to be kind of still studying the clock and not looking at him. But gonna take a sip of his brandy. I'm just like, well, I've been having these horrible dreams lately, and they all seem to tie into this book I read. And long story short, Mr. de Marigny, it's causing me a lot of issues in my waking hours. And I was told you were a dream expert.
I do dabble in the realm of dreams, yes. Now,
I don't want to waste your time. I'm sure it's very precious, and you're a very busy man. Um, I can. I would appreciate any help you have to give me.
of course, of course. And he's gonna kind of move back to his desk and kind of, um, like he's searching for like a notebook or something that he can write down, stuff, and he's gonna kind of be like, of course, I can. And don't worry about the time. I'm finishing up my manuscript, but that's fine. It'll be there another day. He finds a notebook and looking for a pen, kind of like, does this pen work? Yes, yes, it does. You so dreams all correlating. Do you remember the book? What it was?
Um, so Beth, this is a clarification question for me.
Yes.
Did the book have the title inside of it?
Um,
Or would it just be what Wolf would call it?
I believe they're not on the cover, but on
But it's
the
on the inside.
inside. Let me just double check. Oh,
I don't want to see.
Let's see. Because I know I was very particular when we wrote it.
It was a beautiful book, though.
Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. Monster Okay, Little Black Book, fancy script. Yes, once the book is open, the title is called The King in Yellow, No Arthur, translated from its original text in French. There we go.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it was called The King in Yellow.
Oh, yes. But did you get it from the archives? I know they have a copy there.
Yes, I was doing some research there earlier in the year, back in January, and I came across it, and it has a very interesting cover, so I just started reading it, and I finished it, and then I started having dreams. Strange, horrible dreams.
Yes, that does seem to track with that book.
Do you know of it?
Oh yes.
Have you read it?
Well, bits and pieces of it. There was an incident several years back involving that book, and my expertise were called upon it. But I've not actually fully read through it. Oh. I have a tendency to get a little distracted. He's gonna do really... that the sheepish chuckling of like, I mean, if you noticed earlier, I was a little engrossed in things in my writing, and I'm not wearing. Yeah. I'm not wearing pants, but I'm wearing pants.
Well, if you're not a fan of tragedies or bittersweet ironies, I wouldn't recommend it, honestly. I've read it through front to back twice, though.
Okay.
Twice.
And he's gonna he's gonna make like a little note and write that down.
Write that down. So I know I came here to ask you for help, but do you have any questions for me? I don't really know what to do here. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, perhaps we can. He's gonna kind of like start a thought, pause a thought, start a thought, and he's trying to kind of piece through the information that he knows that's not going to go over Wolf's head.
Okay.
But he's going to kind of pause, and then he's going to look at Wolf, and he's like, if it isn't too stressing for you, what are the dreams?
So there's been quite a few since I initially read the book. Um, they mirror incidents in the play,
Mm-hmm. He's gonna be writing this down.
but for the first couple months, I just had dreams where I was in this kind of broken, abandoned city, like that's on a lake, maybe an ocean.
You
I
feel
can't.
okay.
I
You
think
feel
so.
okay.
Um, I don't remember the name of it offhand. I just remember it being a lot of water and I couldn't see the other side. So there wasn't any people really there, but I always feel like I'm being watched.
Hmm.
Um, and I always get pulled in these dreams towards this really magnificent castle that is also severely damaged. And the closer I get to the castle, the more noises I hear, people laughing and crying and whispering, and they all keep. Sometimes I can hear the exact words they're saying, and other times it's just a lot of noise and it doesn't make sense. But I keep hearing he's coming,
Hmm.
and something or someone is coming, and they're expecting them. There's nobody around though. Like I don't see anybody most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um except I guess there was a couple times I did see people in my dream.
Okay. He's gonna pause for a second. And did they take? Did they look recognizable to you? Uh, or were they unfamiliar faces?
I There was familiar faces in the crowd. There's other people that I feel like I might have seen them once or twice, but I don't think I've ever interacted with them before, so I don't really remember. But my family has been in the dreams. My former bosses, Mr. Sagano and Mr. Savoy.
That's gonna give him that is gonna get it that's gonna get a momentary look up of confusion before he's like, oh yes, the boxing promoting, that's what they do. And then getting back to scribbling the notes.
um, Wolf doesn't even recognize that because he's still like brandy, cigar, fucking migraine,
Fucking Mike.
reliving these horrid dreams. Um, which is kind of starting to stress. Like remembering them is clearly causing him some stress. Yeah, Mr. Savoy and Mr. Sagano were the promoters when I was a boxer. Um, I mean, they still are promoters, and I still work with them to help get deals for my protege,
Yes.
Mr. Lynch. But they're in those streams as well, and it's a spectacle, to be honest. Um, in the dream where my family first appeared, I he's gonna touch his chest and kind of hold his shirt. in thought, just like, the first dream I saw my family in, they led me into this throne room, and I ended up getting carved into
Ugh.
like a like a pig.
Ugh.
Um, Sorry, that was really gruesome. I should have.
No, 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 no. It's all right. He
Um,
he's gonna look over something, and then he's gonna kind of look in his desk drawer for something and pull out like a notebook and kind of, or like an old leather wrapped paper note, and kind of like he's double checking something. And as he's doing this, he's like, I believe I that does seem to correlate a lot with effects of uh incidences with reading books like this. And he's gonna kind of look through the other one. He's like, ah, yes, had a note of there's there's some books, some things where they're deliberately written to induce paranoia, um, madness, and stuff. It's an interesting effect, but um, the King in Yellow is was deliberately written to induce induce paranoia with
okay. Well, it's succeeding.
yes. uh, did cause a bit of a scandal when it was first published. Uh, the author was executed for that. He's
Oh,
he's gonna catch
uh,
himself and be like, I
uh,
probably shouldn't have said that. My apologies.
very macabre ending, fitting for a macabre play.
Yes. Um. Yes. Um. He's gonna look over the old journal in his hand, and kind of uh. Go ahead and try and roll me a psychology at half.
43.
43. That would be a fail. Do you want to push or
Mm, no, good.
okay? There may be something on uh Eteen's mind, but you're not entirely sure if it's just something on his mind or if he's mentally chewing himself out for sticking his foot in his mouth with that author comment.
Well, um, Wolf's gonna put his glass of brandy down, take like a nervous smoke of his cigar, and he's gonna also put that in the tray because suddenly he's just like, I'm not feeling it. He's gonna go back to fiddling with his hands a little bit. Um, um, Mr. de Marigny, this meeting will be private, right?
What?
Confidential. It's not going to leave this room at all.
What? Of course, of course, it is private. All
Okay. That's a relief. You know how tabloids are. They hear the littlest bit of gossip and they blow up, and I'm sure they'd be chomping at the bit to write some nasty stories about me since I've been retired and business has been a little slow lately.
of course, I understand completely. They they love to try to ruin reputations.
Yes, very much so. And I don't. I'm an old man now, so I really don't have much besides my reputation.
Of course.
Thank you for that, by the way.
You're very welcome.
Since you know about this play and it makes people paranoid, is there any way I can stop it? I'd really like to get back to having a more normal life, a normal sleep schedule.
Eteen's going to kind of make a little bit of a face, and he's like, I am not entirely sure, Mr. Barker. I believe outside of professional psychological help, I don't know if there's any ways to reduce the paranoia after reading this tome, but he's going to be very firm and kind of look at you. I will definitely see if any of my books here have something. Maybe one of my colleagues will have information as well.
Wolf is kind of visibly deflated a little bit. He leans on the arm of the chair and is like rubbing his temple, like rubbing his eye because he's got that fucking migraine. It's like, oh, I appreciate the effort. Thank you. It's a little disheartening to hear. So
I do apologize, but I should be able to find something, or at least be able to get into contact with someone who may be able to have information. He's gonna mumble something in French under his breath. If you want to try, and I know you don't have any other languages, but if you want to try and do English at a hard difficulty, you can see if you can
parcel anything.
Yeah.
I rolled a 7.
Yeah. That would be a success. So
cool. What do I succeed on?
You sent he's mouthing the he's muttering under his breath in French, and thankfully you do know a little bit of French, being that you live in New Orleans. And he mentioned something about contacting Orchid and the name Sarsaparilla, seeing if they perhaps Sarsaparilla has or Orchid have their old notes.
Okay. I can't spell sarsaparilla. You're gonna contact Flowers?
Etienne's gonna kind of perk up and kind of realize that he mumbled that aloud and that you heard that, and you're gonna see his face kind of flush pink a little bit, and then he's gonna be like, yes, well, they are pseudonyms. Certain when talking about certain subjects, such as the occult and horrors beyond human comprehension, it does suit one's safety to use a synonym.
Okay. Is this one of those secret? Okay, hold on. Can I make a knowledge check for like Wolf to make the like, is this something like the Miskatonic? And then whether he should admit that he knows about the Miskatonics or not?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I rolled a 16.
16. Yeah. This sounds in the same vibe of the Miskatonic University.
Okay. So it's like some sort of secret society.
I mean, if you want to call it like that, I suppose.
I would like to say that Wolf's paranoia has just spiked a little bit more.
Oh no. Se- secret society just sounds so stuffy.
But it's people who are watching events unknowingly to the general public. He's gonna kind of wiggle in his chair, uncomfortable, kind of looking around.
Dean's gonna kind of pause and he's kind of figuring out how to word this. Because he's gonna word it a hell of a lot better than I could ever do it. But he's he's gonna kind of pause and he's gonna kind of look back at the clock and he's and he's gonna look at the clock and he's going to go ahead and roll me a psychology. And we'll just go have this as a regular psychology because he's not really hiding.
16.
15?
16.
Oh, 16. Nice. Yay.
Yeah, because I'm just doing half for all the migraine stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Migraine too.
It's pretty clear that he's kind of thinking about something in the past. There's almost kind of a bittersweet kind of looking at the clock and think bittersweet nostalgia or something to it. And he's going to kind of look at Wolf again and he's going to be like, there are many aspects of the world that, in particular of ancient and lost civilizations, that we as a society don't have the ability to fully comprehend. And that inability to comprehend does some interesting consequences. I'm You understand how sometimes the fear of the unknown can cause people to do some strange things in order to avoid it.
Yeah, like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing, or
Yes, exactly. Um, much of the public is like that. And there's well, certain groups, certain societies, however you want to call it, they want to decrease the self-fulfilling prophecy and make sure that the knowledge is safely given to the public.
Wolf. Looking at this man in utter confusion, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, he understands the words that are coming out of his mouth, but the concept and the idea behind them are just a little bit over his head. So, like, the Miskatonic University.
Ah, you've met the Miskatonic University?
Well, no. People I know have, and they sent me a letter that my identity was stolen and something about a potential future enrollment for my
So,
niece and nephews.
Eteen's face is going to like momentarily go into confusion before just being like, oh, of course they said that. It's like, yes, they do really love having that front of being a college, simple college.
I mean, the kids are quite a few years away from that level of higher education, but if they're willing to wait that long and it's a paid for education, like, it wouldn't be a bad thing.
No.
Um,
No, I'm between you and me, Mr. Barker. The Miskatonic University can have quite the stick up their ass, especially as it comes to the horrors that be. They just they
the
try so
horrors that be.
desperately to pretend that there's not a problem that they make a bigger problem, and it's I oh, they just they like to try and
Hmm.
make the problems disappear rather than understanding why the problem is there.
Oh, sweeping it under the rug, one would say.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Yeah, that's right. Um, thinks they have stick up their asses. um, yeah, they. Were you here back in January when there was a weird event
Oh, yes.
with all the singers and dancers?
Yes. I did hear about that.
Well, that's about when they
Somebody
showed up because there was some sort of book,
yes. He's
and they
snapping his
came and
fingers.
took the book away
Yes,
for safekeeping.
the the Revelations of Galaki, correct?
He's gonna think for a minute. He's like scratching his noggin. That does sound about right, yeah.
Yes. Yes,
it was
quite a bit of spells in that book. Rather dangerous to have in unprepared hands, but
it's it just spells. Mm, It's just a lot to wrap my head around. Like the book has spells, and that the whole event was some sort of magic. And then this book, I it just sounds so crazy.
it does. But
And I don't know about you, but I do not have the time and energy to go crazy, Mr. de Marigny. Um, I have a family I need to help take care of, and I can't go crazy. I just can't.
uh,
And I need these dreams to stop.
Etienne's gonna nod. He's gonna be like, of course, of course, of course, of course. No one has the time to go crazy. That if we did, that would make things a lot easier. But that's besides the point. Yes, I will see if I can find anything in my books and my research. See if I can find anything of note to help you. Um, I will also contact my contacts and see if they have the notes from if they have any residual notes from the last time this book showed up. Um,
While he's midway through that, Wolf is just gonna reach over, grab his branding, and he's just there is no eloquence in this. He's just gonna whoop it all back in one drought. He's also bouncing his leg a little bit.
would you
And
like some more brandy, Mr. Barker?
um he says no, but his posture says yes.
Etienne's gonna pour him some more brandy.
That also just whoop right back.
And she's be like, I apologize if this is not as helpful as you thought it was going to be.
Um,
I've I will definitely see if I can get more solid answers
I
for you.
um he's oh man, do I do which wolf route do I go down? There's two options. Okay. Mm. You know what? Okay. Hey Beth, odds or evens?
Let's go even.
Okay, cool. Fantastic. You know, Mr. Demonier, this is all crazy. You know what? I shouldn't even come here and wasted your time. This is crazy nightmares. It's a book. It's a book. It's not magic. Magic doesn't know. This is a waste of my time, your time. I should just forget these dreams ever happened and just go. I'm not getting to the source of anything. Obviously, I'm just stressed from being retired and not knowing what to do with myself anymore since I don't have a job. You know what? And that's not your problem. That's my problem. I should go seek a therapist and figure out another method to deal with this. Excuse me. He's gonna start trying to like get up.
Etienne's gonna kind of like he's taking it in stride, and he's gonna kind of well, if that is how you feel will help change the situation, then by all means go with it. I will still have uh my doors open if and I will still have my research available if you would like to change your mind on it.
Uh, Wolf is like rubbing his cheeks and his face. He's just like, Your butler, Mr. Carr, still has my number, correct?
Yes, of course.
And would you mind if I had my friend Mr. Swan contact you about coming to see this clock? I think you'd really like it. And
Of course. Of course.
oh, fantastic.
Oh, and is Wolf starting to walk away?
He's kind of doing that thing where he's in the middle of staying and going, where his body is angled towards the door like he should go, but there's something kind of lingering and keeping him planted there.
Okay.
Like he's very indecisive. But I
Okay.
just feel very foolish for coming here in the first place.
All right. Well, my Etienne is going to kind of like he's not showing any signs of he was offended by the outburst or whatever. He's gonna help.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna let Wolf do his thing, and then he's gonna pause and step his feet and be like, "Oh, Mr. Barker,
Yes, sir.
if you do see your mother again, tell her I said hello."
Big confusion face. You know my mother?
Hazel Barker? Yes, I do. She she often came asking for my help with some mysteries and whatnot, some archaeological digs that would come into the city. She stopped by and asked for my thoughts and opinions on it.
Dial-up noises. The biggest, loudest dial-up noises. And it's just like, what? How? Okay, so follow-up question. How old about does this man look?
Maybe about 10 years younger than Wolf himself.
10 years younger. Okay. Man looks 10 years younger than Wolf. So he looks like he's in his 40s?
Yeah, late 30s, early 40s.
Um. Uh, uh, hmm. I have a lot of questions and I'm not sure which one to ask first. So I guess, how did you meet my mother? And he sits back down. Congrats, you reeled him back in.
Etching's gonna chuckle and be like, well, she was a consultant with the police department. If I remember correctly, she worked with Detective Jenkins on a few cases.
My uncle Jenkins, yeah, he worked for the police station, of course, but I don't ever remember her being a consultant for the police.
Er, uh,
She's
oh,
the daughter of a fisherman. Why would she be hoping the
Etching's gonna kind of look at you like,
kind of just trails off?
He was like, I was expecting that you would already kind of know this information. Oh, this is awkward.
He reveals that he's consultant to Mr. Jenkins.
Oh,
For the police.
I
Lieutenant.
was not aware that you didn't know of your mother's exploits. Um,
Excuse me, hold on. exploits? Like she's been on these really grand adventures? I mean, my mother has some wild stories, but not like you're making them sound. Not
It's like,
he
oh.
gestures vaguely.
Etienne awkwardly being like, oh, do I continue down this hole I've dug myself? Or, um, well, Etienne's like, crap. Well,
So wait, so what stories? What are you talking about?
well, for lack of a better term, she was an investigator, Mr. Barker. Um,
But
when
what
they
does that what does that mean though? I don't think you mean like a police investigator or a detective. Like
when there's incidences outside of police jurisdiction, they investigators are called upon to investigate, and sometimes the investigations lead to the mythos or the more occult leaning.
so cryptids and monsters? Is that what you're telling me?
Not always, but for lack of a better word, yes.
So you're trying to tell me with a straight face, Mr. Demarnier, that monsters and spells and horrors beyond my comprehension exist. That's what you're trying to tell me, correct?
Unless you have a better explanation for what happened in January, then yes. And what happened at the circus?
I mean, I don't know exactly what happened at that circus, just that there was a murder, but he's trying to process all of that.
So Etienne's going to top off the brandy glass um for Wolf for putting it away.
Wolf is gonna just kind of take this glass of brandy and he's gonna hold this glass with both his hands and kind of sink into the chair he's sitting in. He's looking into this beautiful liquid, just thinking. And he's not really sure how he's feeling about it because part of him really does want that explanation, some sort of explanation. But the more rational side of him is like, that's you gotta be kidding me. Like, that doesn't sound like my mom. That doesn't sound like the woman I know and grew up with. No, like magic doesn't exist. Not like this. The true magic is friendship. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, I think he's just gonna kind of sit there for a good 5 to 10 minutes if Etienne lets him.
Oh yeah, he's gonna let it. This is probably not the first time Etienne has accidentally dropped bombshell on somebody, so he's just like, okay.
He's gonna sip on his. Eventually, he'll finally take a sip of that brandy, and he just sounds so defeated. Um, so I was right to feel paranoid and like everyone was keeping secrets from me. Okay. And I was right that things were not what they seemed. And I will continue having these nightmares, won't I?
Eteen's going to he's gonna pause, sigh, and he's like, the I do not claim to know and understand anyone's motivations for why they keep secrets or why they don't. If I were to harbor a guess, your mother probably wanted to keep part of it secret because, I mean, there's not really a clear and concise way to explain what things have been found and whatnot. Um, and as for everything not as it seems, I mean, you, that is, that is an unfortunate fact of life, regardless of the occult and supernatural. And like I've promised, I will make sure that I will see if I can find any information to help with the dreams in my notes and research. And whatnot. Um, he's gonna pause for a minute. He's gonna kind of try to weigh options, seeing if that might work, might not work. It is entirely possible that perhaps, albeit it may be a temporary fix, but getting a charm or talisman for one of the deities that helps with dreams might at least alleviate part of it. But outside of going to a professional sanatorium or getting professional psychological help, I'm not sure how I'd be.
I
Yeah,
cannot go to a sanatorium.
I understand.
You
Mr. Barker.
know how they would smear my name if I was seen going into a professional sanatorium.
I understand, Mr. Barker. I understand that is the worst possible scenario. So I will do my best to try and find another solution for you.
She's just kind of start like mumbling to himself. She's like, so what I'm hearing is that the stories that my mother has been telling my nibblings for bedtime stories their whole lives have maybe actually been true to life adventures about murders and creatures from the great beyond. He's sipping on his brandy as he's mumbling.
It seems like, I mean, that does check. That does check for Hazel Barker. Experience in Eldritch Horror, it's now a fairy tale. Congratulations.
I apologize for my outburst earlier. Thank you for your help today and for seeing me on such short notice.
Of course, Mr. Barker. Mr. Barker. I'm glad that I was able to help even a little bit.
I have a lot to think about, so if you'll excuse me, I think I'm going to see myself out.
Of course, and feel free to take the brandy with you.
He just shoots it back and puts the glass gingerly on the table. It's like, no need, all good. Good luck with your manuscript, Mr. de Marigny. Good
Etienne.
afternoon.
Etienne.
Etienne Laurent. Call me Wolf. I look forward to hearing from you with any updates you might have for my situation.
Of course. I look forward to getting into contact with you.
All right. Wolf is ready to go.
All right. So I guess with that, Wolf will leave the building, and I guess we can call that done with the one shot. Woohoo. All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. Woo!
Imagine he's gone home and just flopped face first into his bed.
Yeah. He deserves a nap as a treat.
I can't process this yet. I need time to like figure out what I'm gonna do with it. So yeah, I feel like that's what's gonna happen is he's gonna go home. He's gonna write a little journal entry and try to figure out what to do, and then he's just gonna take a really long nap.
Yeah. There we go. All right. And
tune in next time.
oh yeah, this is gonna be fun.